This news update is brought to you by...
Say hello to Shanta. Shanta is an entertainer, but she also loves to be entertained, which is why she has Flow TV brought to her through Flow's 100% fiber to the home network. It's great for busy Shanta because she can control the time she watches her favorite shows, play back from the start in case she missed it, or even record with cloud video recording. And with her Flow services bundle, enjoys much more for much less. Visit any Flow retail outlet, call 1-800-804-2994, or visit discoverflow.co to find out more. One-of-a-kind connection. This is how we flow.
This is the Barbados Today afternoon news update for Monday, May 30th. Thank you for joining us. I am Mary Claire Williams. The family of the slain Kimberly Lovell say it will be a while before they can come to terms with her untimely death. Lovell and her husband Derek of Aline's Land, Bayville, were discovered dead at their St. Michael home early yesterday morning in an apparent murder-suicide. Her mother, Cicely Sargent, discovered her body, and she told Barbados Today she still cannot believe that her daughter is gone. Sargent said Kimberly told her she was going to talk to her husband, but she went looking for her daughter when she took too long to return home. She said Lovell's two young children have also not yet fully understood the tragedy that has occurred in their family. In other news, Principal of the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus, Professor Eudine Barriteau, wants government to introduce the necessary legislation to allow the institution to conduct research into marijuana. Professor Barriteau was referring to recent comments from Senator Jepta Ince in the Upper House.
The Cave Hill campus has been investigating the medicinal value of Barbadian plants. And the work in this area is conducted by Dr. Damien Cohall of the Faculty of Medical Sciences. However, I must and need to inform the public before our colleagues at Cave Hill can conduct research on marijuana. The government of Barbados would need to create an enabling environment by producing the legislative framework to do so. The government of Jamaica did this in April 2015. So my colleagues and my fellow principal at the Mona campus can legitimately and legally conduct that research. The campus will host a marijuana symposium. The Cave Hill campus will host a marijuana symposium in September this year. And we will do so without any experimentation. So the Royal Barbados Police Force need not get excited.
Professor Barriteau made the comments at the launch of the UWI's Global Giving Week. It's an appeal for assistance from alumni and the public and private sectors. Vice-Chancellor Professor Sir Hilary Beckles says the university can no longer depend solely on regional governments as their contributions have dropped significantly from 80% of the total operational budget 15 to 20 years ago to 45% today.
The UWI has to be not only a global university for the Caribbean world, which it is, but it has to sustain that excellence as a brand of Caribbean civilization. And the UWI brand is a globally respected brand. So we are in need of the assistance from all of our stakeholders, our supporters, and principally our graduates. It is said that an important marker of a great university is a university that receives sustainability from its graduates. That is often said. We believe that this is the one area in the matrix of excellence that we have fallen short. We have not, in an organized way, reached out to our graduates.
Barbadians can expect the government's austerity program to continue for some time. That's the message from Prime Minister Freundel Stuart in his address to the monthly meeting of his St. Michael's South constituency branch last evening. Stuart says although the country is experiencing a turnaround, it must continue to pursue programs that will ensure full recovery.
Our policies have been working And we have to continue to make the effort we've been making to ensure that that growth is sustainable so that the benefits can be felt by people in the society. I just want to say this though. Because I have said that the economy is on a growth path again, does not mean that we can afford to be reckless. If you have had a serious operation and you're in the hospital, and you were being fed intravenously because you could not feed yourself, and because it was not safe to allow you to feed yourself, or to eat what you want, or drink what you want, because the stage has been reached where you no longer have to be fed intravenously, but you can now feed yourself, and because the doctor says now that you don't have to be on drips anymore, it does not mean that you should get up from your hospital bed and run around the garrison.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
In news from the region, Haiti's interim president, Jocelyne Prévert, has announced that the country's Provisional Electoral Council, the CEP, will publish the electoral timetable this week to relaunch the process. Port-au-Prince has been preparing for presidential and the second round of legislative elections since Michel Martelly demitted office in February. Prévert has been installed as the interim leader to oversee the poll, which had been postponed to May 14. The five-member Independent Commission of Evaluation and Verification of Elections was scheduled to hand over its recommendation to the CEP on Sunday. It is now expected to present the document to Prévert later today on the grounds of the National Palace. The interim president has already said the report of the commission is necessary to ensure the credibility of the electoral process. On the international scene, the Iraqi army has begun an operation to storm Fallujah, a stronghold of the so-called Islamic State. It comes 1 week after the government launched an effort to regain control of the city, which has been held by ISIS for the past 2 years. We get more in this BBC report.
This latest phase in the offensive got underway at dawn, exactly a week after the whole campaign to oust so-called Islamic State from Fallujah was launched. The renewed assault was preceded by heavy artillery bombardments to soften up IS defenses. Jets from the American-led coalition and the Iraqi Air Force also carried out airstrikes in support of the advancing ground forces, led by elite combat units.
Our soldiers started their offensive at 5 a.m. today to retake Fallujah. They've advanced on several fronts against the extremists.
So far, the latest phase of attack still seems to be pressing in around Fallujah, not penetrating yet into the actual center of the city itself. As the battle moves closer to Fallujah itself, there's huge concern for the civilians trapped there. Perhaps the best guess is around 50,000 of them. They've already been through 9 months of siege, a very tight blockade, so they've been drinking filthy water and had very little by way of food and medicine coming in. Now the fear is that as the battle comes into the city, they may face imminent and mortal danger. Some hundreds of families have managed to escape to safety. They're being taken to camps to the south and west of Fallujah, where at least they can find shelter and food.
And finally, the former leader of Chad, Hissène Habré, has been sentenced to life in prison after being convicted of crimes against humanity in a landmark trial in Senegal. The judge convicted him of rape, sexual slavery, and ordering killings during his 8-year rule from 1982 to 1990. It was the first time an African Union-backed court had tried a former ruler for human rights abuses. Habré now has 15 days to appeal.
The former president of Chad, Hissène Habré, has been found guilty of crimes against humanity for ordering the killing and torture of thousands of political opponents during his 8-year rule in the 1980s.
And that's the news this afternoon. Remember, there's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Or you could tune in to Channel 99 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM for more news. I am Marie Claire Williams. Good afternoon.